ตัวบริษัทของเรานะครับอาจจะเป็นตัวความแรงนะครับ
The only thing that we did not really correct about her was the crosswise, and we have no crosswise. Okay, that was the only thing that we missed completely. Okay. So this is going to be her. And we said corroding in the upper, and we said about to the Queen Universe. Okay, lower we can see. Okay. So this is the classification 1 for her. And if we go to the second part, part is the facial classification. Okay. When we look at her face, okay, and we see the tragus infraorbital plane line versus the base of the mandible, okay. Can you see that they really meet a little bit far? Okay. Can you see that we are going to be behind the skull? Okay. So actually this patient is somewhere. This patient. This patient is somewhere in between average, but she has a lip competency. Okay? Can you see the screen to close? Okay. So today you can simply call her average patient. Okay. If we go to the numbers for her age, the spot is very small, she's going to be much more like the older patient. Okay, but if you call her average, I can understand, because she doesn't look that long face. She doesn't look like that long face because the patient has the, what do you call this? What do you call it? French? Well, the hair here. Okay. Now, later we're going to see the presentation on how to take pictures of the patient, and the face must be clear. Okay, the face must be clear so we can measure her. When we're going to be evaluating the faces, we go tritium, and tritium is the point where the hair starts. And when you have the hair like this, you cannot see tritium. Okay? So if you want to measure the tritium, then the hair must be a little bit clear. Okay? And again, this girl is very small, but if you give me again an average, I take it, because until we don't really see the numbers, she looks kind of average, okay? But when you see the numbers, she's going to be much closer to Dolicho patient, okay? In the notes, as they answer it after the proper analysis, okay, and they were already seeing the strain to close, okay, it was noted as Dolicho patient. She was noted as Dolicho patient. But again, as usual, if you see her with the hair, she looks much more like average. Okay, because she doesn't show the forehead, the length of the forehead, she looks much more like average. So, as you are diagnosing her with what you are seeing today, you might see her a little bit average, you might see her a little bit Dolicho. She is Dolicho, but I take also the menstrual because you cannot see. Now what we have to diagnose for sure is going to be the profile. Okay? And when you look at the profile in this case, okay, the profile, what type of profile do you see? We see it straight towards slightly full. Now why do we see her slightly full? Because the mandible still completely underdeveloped. And this is what mom was seeing, that her profile was full. Okay? Now the reality is that we cannot really consider, today we consider her full, but we cannot consider that she is going to finish full because we still have plenty of mandibular growth remaining. And if she has mandibular growth and the chin develops, when the chin will develop in front of the lips, and then the lips will finish most likely straight. Okay? So today the girl is full, but any growth we get will make her look less full, much more balanced. Unlike Krista, do you remember Krista? Krista, we couldn't say the month with the years she was going to become less full because that was not true. With the years she was going to become worse. But this one, the profile is typical for a 7.5-year-old girl. 7.5-year-old girls are always full because of underdevelopment of the mandible. Okay? So the profile is much more like convex, okay, and if some of you saw it straight, at first sight, she looks kind of straight until you draw the line. When you draw the line, she is, okay. Now, in Asian profile, we tolerate a little bit more fullness than in Caucasian. You remember what I mentioned yesterday? In a Caucasian, up to -2 millimeters of lip is considered average. In an Asian, up to +2 mm is considered average, because Asians are slightly much fuller than Caucasians. and she is within those 2 millimeters. That's why if you call her straight, I also accept it, okay? Because technically, these are in front, so for me, Caucasian, she is convex, but for you, Asian, most likely she is going to be straight, okay? So, somewhere in between straight and convex, we accept. Being here in Asia, maybe we can call her sharp straight.
ครับวันนี้เราก็มาดู facial survey ของเรานะครับว่าลักษณะของ facial type จะเป็นแบบไหนนะครับถ้าดูแล้วนะครับดูจากเส้นที่ลากผ่านประมาณค่าของตัว f นะครับก็ดูว่าเหมือนจะเป็นค่าที่เป็น average ใช่ไหมครับแล้วก็จากโครงสร้างใบหน้าเองนะครับอันนี้เราก็ดูได้ว่ามันก็คงจะเป็นหมายถึงว่าคงจะลง categories ได้ว่าเป็น vertical facial นั่นเองนะครับสำหรับตัวโปรไฟล์นะครับโปรไฟล์ที่เห็นเมื่อกี้นะครับเนื่องจากว่าเป็น mixed edition แล้วก็ยังมี growth อยู่อีกค่อนข้างจะเยอะเลยนะครับฉะนั้นเส้นที่ลากผ่านใช่ไหมครับลากผ่านจากตัวหน้าผากออกมาตรงตัวโซเมียนหรือตรงคางนะครับเราก็จะเห็นว่ามันค่อนข้างจะเป็นสเตรทนะครับแต่ว่าอย่างไรก็ตามนะครับถ้าดูแล้วแนวโน้มนะครับในเคสนี้นะครับมันก็จะเป็นคอนเวกซ์นะครับซึ่งถ้าเป็นคอนเวกซ์ถ้าเราเลยเรียกว่าเป็นคอนเวกซ์ก็ค่อนข้างจะโอเคนะครับ acceptable นะครับก็ตรงโปรไฟล์นะครับก็อาจจะเป็นคอนเวกซ์ก็ได้นะครับ
So, now I know the word. Fringe. Okay, with the fringe, you look much more like Mesa. Okay? Okay, so because of the fringe, she looks Mesa. Okay? But she's in reality the opposite. I learned English from books and television. I have never lived in an English-speaking country, so taking that into consideration, my vocabulary for regular words is not so good, but for dental words, and yes, I do very good. And when it's coming to everyday life, it's kind of, how do you cook that? I never say that. How do you cook that? Okay. The next part is the upper midline to the face. We already said that the upper midline to the face was perfect, so we have no issues. Okay. And then we also said that her lips, now her lips are kind of average. Okay? Her lips are kind of average. Then sublingual fold. When we look at this sublingual fold, sublingual fold is kind of